Mesdames et messieurs,
Heads of State and Government, Mr. Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. President of COP29, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to begin with words of congratulation to the Republic of Azerbaijan, to its President and government for their excellent organization of COP29. We extend to them our most sincere appreciation for the warm hospitality extended to my delegation and to myself. Ladies and gentlemen, the Republic of Congo, as most of you already know, has for almost a half a century taken full part in the global effort to tackle climate change and biodiversity loss. Indeed, my country has placed issues related to environmental conservation at the heart of its national policy and front and center in its international commitments. This year, in July, in Brazzaville, my country's capital, we hosted the first international conference on afforestation and reforestation. In our bid to deliver on our commitment and to strengthen the essential role of forests in regulating climate, and also in our bid to make the initiative for a global reforestation effort a permanent one, recently Congo submitted to the United Nations General Assembly a resolution on declaring a global decade of afforestation and reforestation. Furthermore, jointly with the group of African forest countries known as the C15, the Republic of the Congo is today carrying what can be styled as a climate justice initiative. This is an initiative which is aimed at including gross natural capital of countries in our calculation of states' GDP. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2015, we had all placed our hopes in the Paris Agreement. For this agreement, which is based on the principle of climate justice and the just transition, clearly establishes a global framework to tackle climate change and to keep global warming to under 1.5 degrees Celsius. We note with regret, however, that the financing mobilized since 2015 is not commensurate with our expectations and in no way corresponds to the level of our commitments. We're particularly concerned over the issue of climate financing, and here I must note that the commitment, or pledge rather, of $100 billion in 2009 for the period running 2010 to 2020 was fulfilled only in 2022. The new collective quantified goal for climate financing must be based on scientific data that take into account the impact and needs of developing countries in tackling climate change. Now, we know that these needs total over $1,000 billion. Our fervent wish is that the amount in this new goal will be established and defined from a perspective of climate justice and the just transition. This objective should enable our countries to reduce our debt burden rather than worsen it. Lastly, this new collective quantified goal should cover mitigation and adaptation in a balanced way. And in order to do so, substantial efforts must also be made to ensure that loss and damage are taken into account, because we must have substantial resources in place to tackle the impact of extreme events and to deal with any eventualities. And here I must welcome the fact that an encouraging step was taken here when we adopted here in Baku Article 6.4 of the Paris Agreement. We believe that this tool under the Paris Agreement, which enables us to transfer carbon credits between low greenhouse gas emitting countries and emitting countries, will open a pathway to interstate, international, and structured cooperation that will foster sustainable development, resilience, and economic diversification in developing countries. Ladies and gentlemen, the ecological transition which we all yearn for will not take place unless we have innovative financing mechanisms in place. Mechanisms that can help us open up new prospects for development based on resilience, sustainability, and on carbon neutrality. This is a challenge which we have before us here and now. Thank you.